Hi guys, welcome back to another Matchbox Garage video. I'm Rob, and today we're not only going to attempt to kind of bring this car from rags to riches, but I'm going to do 3 cars today. This is the worst of the bunch. A friend of mine, Andrew, was over nearly a month ago now, and I asked him which one would you like, and he picked out the Ferrari. I've got 3 of these, so my initial intention was to, I guess, take all the parts from the 3 to make one good one. But anyway, reads Matchbox series, number 75 Ferrari Berlinetta, made in England by Lesney. Now, I thought, okay, what we can do is take maybe a windscreen from one, some tyres from another, the interior from one, etc, etc. Build one nice car. Now, when I was taking it apart, now normally I don't like to modify these older ones, but for me to see a tow hook on these cars is a bit silly, so they were all going to be removed anyway. And really what I was left with was kind of 3 castings, missing 1 tyre, missing 1 windscreen, but the other 2 windscreens were busted anyway. Now I was going to proceed with kind of like a busted windscreen, but I think to replace them all and to repaint them all is and was the right way to go. So we'll start by drilling down the centre of the rivets, removing the flange, tapping the hole, using my very handy vise. And with all 3 bodies removed, this was when I kind of, accepted, do you know what, I'm going to do all 3. Unsure what this brown substance is, but obviously you can see that it was attached to a small part of the remaining windscreen. Yeah, perhaps should have used gloves touching that. Yucky. But all models were in good condition, other than the windscreens. The wheels, all good, all intact. No, I'm missing 1 tyre, but I can beg and borrow from my collection, and I've bought a kind of a dozen spares now. So, but here are the screens. I've got a crack in the front of one, a crack in the rear of the other. All these retaining pieces are fine. All 3 different colours though. I don't know whether that symbols kind of an older one, a middle age, and a newer style. Who knows? Interiors were fine. Like I say, I think on 2 of them the tow hooks were broken anyway, and then so I just removed all 3, and I did put a little bit of brown paint on those interiors. So I wanted to start really by tackling the bases. Now I had a similar kind of base with these wheels, with these style of tyres on my Jaguar E-Type custom rebuild. So if you haven't seen that, please do. But I remember when I did tackle that car, it come out looking brand new. I was really happy with it, and I almost wanted to put just the base up on display. It looked brand new. I guess it's not surprising really what a wire brush can simply do. Now this last tyre, she was on good and proper, and yeah, giving me a little bit of jip. Like I say, I've bought a load of replacement tyres if and when needed, so not a problem if I happen to damage one. But here's all the metalwork here. And I'll put that to one side whilst I dunk the tyres and the interiors and also the windscreens into some wash. And all metal parts, so including the bases, just to somewhat give them a clean up if there's any crud on there, what have you. Let's get them into some caustic soda. And I enjoy kind of watching, you know, the work take place sometimes. Give it a little swig around, and you can see, well, you can see there just the paint lifting already on the castings. So it's all bubbling away, all taking place. And a few minutes later, give them a bit of a wash under the tap, and we've now got something that we can polish up. So let's see these bases. I'm kind of reliving this myself because I'm doing this, I guess, voiceover about a month later now, because I've been waiting for a little while for the new windscreens, which I used Model Supplies. They're based in the UK. So yeah, model-supplies.co.uk. I'll put their link in the description. So this is a before and after. I think you'll agree it looks pretty good with just a couple of minutes with the wire brush. And then a before and after on the bodies also. So when the caustic soda does its business, it just leaves this kind of oxidation residue, but it polishes off no problem. It's nice and easy. And with the bases now in place, now I don't know which base went to which car, but they all fit, so that's not an issue. But they all look as they did from the showroom. Beautiful, very good condition. Very happy with them. So I'll hit them all up with some Tamiya Fine in white. Not forgetting the interior too. There's some quite fine detail, especially in that front grille. So you can kind of see that a lot of the paint doesn't really get in, but at the same time I don't want to fill it up with paint because I don't want to lose that fine detail. To be honest, even at this point, I still didn't know what three colours I was going to paint these cars. A friend of mine suggested red, black and yellow. I'd run out of red, which I know, shock horror, kind of customising a green Ferrari and not doing one in red. I wanted to do red, I didn't have any red, so I went with different colours. I was going to go then with black, yellow and blue. So here's the yellow, a lemon yellow X8, which I think, is a Ferrari colour. You get to see quite a few yellow Ferraris. And then I'll do a blue Ferrari, which you'll see shortly. And just as I was doing the kind of, I guess, mixing up the black, my 7-year-old son said, "Dad, don't do a black Ferrari." So I said, "Oh, right, okay, well, what colour do you want to see?" And he kind of, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, probably about 35, 40 colours. And he went through all the colours and he picked out a metallic green that is, well, to my eyes, is exactly the same as the original. So perhaps we've got 2 customs and now 1 restoration here. Yeah, I would like to have seen a black one. I think quite a few other YouTubers have done black, so I'm sure you can find a black one if you do a YouTube search. I think Time Rider did a black one, if I remember rightly, a few months ago. But here's the blue. So this is the Tamiya X5. Now off camera, what you don't see is that I did hit up both the blue and the yellow with my TS13 clear in the aerosol, because it wasn't very shiny, didn't have the kind of the gloss luster that I was after, or that I was used to, but yeah, eventually it did. And this is the metallic green in the Humbrol enamel. I do enjoy using these enamel paints, they are great paints. And yeah, I'd say this is probably as close to the original as you're going to get without kind of mixing. And the one thing you'll notice going from those acrylics straight to this enamel paint is that I made no kind of change to my airbrush, but the velocity that this comes out seems to be, much more. Now it kind of boggles my mind, I guess, because it seems to be so thick. You'd think it'd come out slower, but anyway. This is after a couple of coats, and I think you'll agree that looks like glass. Beautiful. So we've got all 3 bases with tyres back on, looking good as new. We've got these 2 junky windscreens that I was going to attempt to use, but decided against it. Obviously cut off the tow hooks there, and I did put a little bit of kind of like a brown wash over these, which I think I'm going to reach on now. Yes, just with this enamel matte brown. And then fast forward about a month. These are the 2 old windscreens. You can see it's kind of cracking the front of one, cracking the rear of the other, and obviously missing a third. So I'll gently place those to one side. And then Model Supplies, which I bought a load of bits and pieces from. I'm going to dunk them still because I wanted that kind of gloss luster. Dunk it into my pledge, but kind of pulling through the 3 castings now. Like I say, they've had probably about a month to dry, so I need to blow the dust off them. And I'll also add in now some of the details like the front lights, the front grille, rear lights, number plate, and I'll you can hold off for the final reveal for those. So as a reminder of one of the cars of where we started and the result, or should I say the results. So here's the green. It's not a true restoration because I've kind of painted the interior there with like a tan colour, and I've chopped off the tow hook, and of course I've also added all the light details and such. So we've got the blue one, which I really like, and we've got the yellow car. To be honest, I'm not sure which one I prefer. I think I like the blue one. But sometimes I think, oh no, actually the yellow one's really nice. And then I think, actually no, the green one, because the originality. I don't know. I've got all 3, so I guess I don't need a favourite, but what's your favourite? Let me know. Stick it down in the comments. I would love to hear. But anyway, take this opportunity to thank my Patreons, Wheels and Things, Bearded Outcast, Nick's Toy Garage, and Mark Dandridge. And thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you'll stick around for the next one.